everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from Middle-earth. Yes, we are returning once more to Middle-earth in the form of the Hobbit this time, with Thranduil, King of the Woodland realm, on his elk. Yes, very excited, because he's an absolutely gorgeous model. Very difficult to get hold of, but he's absolutely fantastic. And we're going to be painting him up today. So, without further ado, we're going to jump in and we're going to start doing that. So, both sections have been primed in Grey Seer, and we're going to put the scenic base to one side, and we're going to focus on Thranduil first, and then we'll do his base and the scenic base all at the same time. So, colour we're going to be using first over the top of the elk is a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Garaghak Sewer. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the smooth flesh of the elk. So not the, for lack of a better word, mane. Not for now, at least. Just whilst we're waiting for all that to fully dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take two colours, Skeleton Horde and Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over the top of the mane. So we're going to start with Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this all over. Like so. Just checking that we got it all. Then we're going to wash the brush and grab some Cygor Brown. And at the same time, we're going to apply this around the bottom part . Like this. We basically want to leave a small amount of the Skeleton Horde towards the top, up there like that. What we can do is we can wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just smooth out that transition a little bit, and if needs be, grab a little bit more Skeleton Horde. Like that. There we go. So with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Wyldwood. I'm going to apply this over the top of the body of the elk, but not its face. And so with that all done, it's back to Skeleton Horde once more to do the elk antlers. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Black Legion. We're going to apply this over the top of quite a lot of detail. So we're going to apply this over the top of the elk's hooves. Like so. We're going to apply this over the top of all of the tack, like the reins, bridle, saddle straps, and so on and so forth. And we're also going to apply this over the top of all of Thranduil's clothes, excluding the inside of the cloak. With all that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Baal Red and we're going to apply this over the top of the inside of the cloak. Whilst we're waiting for that Baal Red to dry, we're going to take some Wyldwood. I'm going to apply this over the top of the saddle and the saddle blanket. Now the saddle blanket isn't going to remain that colour. We are going to still apply this over the top, like so. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Guilliman Flesh. We're going to apply this over the top of Thranduil's face. Once that Baal Red is fully dry, what we're going to do, we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Blood Angel's Red and Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this over the top. But what we're also going to do here is we're going to apply this over the top of the saddle blanket, which is the little square as the first layer of saddle stuff under his legs. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Drakenhof Nightshade. We're going to apply this over the top of these sort of feathers. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Seraphim Sepia. And we're going to apply this over the top of his hair. And so with that all done, it's now time to approach the metallics. And the first of these is going to be some thinned down Leadbelcher, and we're going to apply this over the top of the sword blade, naturally. But we're also going to apply this over the top of all of Thranduil's plate armour. And it's actually the vast majority of the model is going to be silver. With that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass, and we're going to apply this over the top of the sword handle, and we're going to apply this over the top of the printed or embossed swirly bits on the elk's strapping. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to apply this over the top of the brown leather. With that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of Thranduil's clothes and cloak. So those black details. But we don't need to do this over top of like the leather straps, for example. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Targor Rageshade. I'm going to use this over top of all the silver and all the brass. So with that all done, Thranduil is now what I would call a War Hipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty awesome. However, we're not going to leave him there. Of course not. We're going to take him to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Steel Legion Drab. I'm going to use this to add lots and lots of small little lines across all of the Elk's flesh. So we're just going like this. Over the top of the muscles. To add in that lovely texture that you can see on the box art. With all that Steel Legion Drab applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Baneblade Brown. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing over the top, but we're going to do kind of like as a spot highlight here with the Baneblade Brown. So we're going to be sticking towards the kind of edges, but we're still going to be doing sort of that textured type of highlight. That sort of thing. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Screaming Skull. I'm going to dry brush the top part of the moose's head. Elk, not moose. And we're also going to use this to dry brush the antlers. So with that all done, we can now move on from the elk for the moment. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey. And we're going to use this to highlight the feathers. With that Fenrisian Grey all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to those feathers. Like this sort of thing. But what we're also going to do with the Corax White is going to use this to fully highlight Thranduil's hair. like this, and I'm going to use this to add the tiniest little dot at the apex of each of the elk's eyes. So we just want to add a teensy tiny little dot around there. So with that all done, we then take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight Thranduil's skin. And with that Flayed One Flesh applied, we then take a tiny amount of Black Legion and we're going to apply this over top of Thranduil's eyes. And with that Black Legion applied, we then take a teensy tiny little dot of Screaming Skull and we apply this in the corners of the eyes of both him and the elk. So with that all done, we now move on and we take some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet and we're going to use this to highlight the red. And so with that all done, we then want to take a tiny amount of some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. And we're going to use this just to add a couple of little spot highlights only to the cloak. We don't need to add this to the saddle blanket. So with that all done, we're now going to start tackling all the black. And the colour that we're going to be using for that first is some thinned down Mechanicus Standard Grey. And so with all that Mechanicus Standard Grey applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest areas. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the silver. Now this is going to sometimes cross between being a highlight and a relayer, because on some of the like wider open panels such as the chest plate, we can actually just apply this as a relayer, just avoiding the recesses. But for vast majority of it, we are just going to be picking out the edges. Just like this sort of thing. This will take a little while, so once it's done, we'll all come back. So with that Ironbreaker all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. I'm going to use this to highlight our few little brass details. So with that all done, Thranduil is now finished. So what we can do is we can move on to all the basing. And, well, the colour we're going to be using first here is going to be some Nuln Oil. And what we're going to do is we'll start on Thranduil's base, but we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the rock, debris, paving slabs, and all that good stuff. So with that Nuln Oil applied over the top of both sets of stone, as you can see, what we're next going to do is we're going to take some Coelia Greenshade and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the stonework quite sparingly. We don't need a huge amount of it. So with that all done, we then want to take some Seraphim Sepia and we're going to apply this over the top of all the kind of fallen dirt and rubble. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to apply this over the top of the tree. Could be a tree. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood. And this is kind of just to add in like a sort of vibe of a little bit of soot. But what we're going to do is just going to kind of apply this mostly in patches around the rubble and things. So with that all done, it's time to add some dry brushes. And the first of these is going to be some grey Seer. And we're going to dry brush this over the top of the entirety of the base. With that grey Seer dry brush all applied, we're then going to add a dry brush of some pallid witch flesh. This one's going to be a little bit lighter. But we're still going to go all over. All together now. Here's how it looks. It looks absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do now is going to very quickly work on our two Gundabad orcs. Anyway, the colour we're going to be using first here is we're going to take some Cygor Brown. I'm going to apply this over the top of the skin. With that all done, we're then going to take some black Templar. I'm going to apply this over top of the small bits of hair. And then next up we take some black Legion. And we apply this over top of the cloth, leather and trousers of the actual corpse. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors and we're going to apply this over top of all the armour. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this to shade all that silver. So with that all done, just as a little kind of, well, a nice extra, we're going to take some blood for the blood god. I'm going to apply this just inside the neck stumps from where the heads have been removed. So with that all done, we're now going to finish things off by dry brushing the orcs with some Tyrant Skull. And there we have it, with a little bit of Valhallan Blizzard applied sparingly, and a couple of tufts from Gamer's Grass, the Winter's Grass stuff from Gamer's Grass. Thranduil is now finished, and Mike, I hope you're happy with it. You've been asking for this one for a long time, so this video, if anything, is dedicated to you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you found it useful when painting your Thranduil. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.